All right, this time I'd like to call the June 15th City of Vandalia Council Meeting to order. We'll start with a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Council, you've had an opportunity to review the Council special meeting minutes of May 8th and May 16th, and also the Council study session minutes of May 18th and the Council meeting minutes of May 18th. Are there any comments? Being none, they stand approved. Next comes communications, petitions, and awards, and we have a Bee City USA proclamation where we will present to Mr. Dranchak celebration of Polliner Week, June 22nd to June 28th. Mr. Dranchak? Go ahead. Huh? Go ahead. Come on up.
Yeah, tell him. Very well, social distance.
You know, just like
We all stand in. This one?
We're here, all right.
All right, well, first of all, I'd like to thank the Historical Society for administrating this Bee City statute that we've got here, and we certainly appreciate it and the importance of it. We do have a proclamation, and like I said, I'm going to try to read it first time. Here. All right. So we have here is, whereas pollinators, to include thousands of species of bees, are essential partners in producing much of our food supply, and whereas pollinators provide significant environmental benefits necessary for maintaining healthy, biodiverse urban-suburban ecosystems, and whereas pollination plays a vital role in the health of trees, plants of our community, enhancing the quality of life and creating recreational and economic development opportunities, and whereas for decades the City of Vandalia has managed urban landscapes and public lands that include many municipal parks, greenways, and as well wildlife habitat, and whereas the City of Vandalia provides recommendations to developers, residents regarding landscaping to promote wise conservation, stewardship, including the protection of pollinators and maintenance of their habitats in urban and suburban environments. Now therefore, I, Richard Herbst, by the authority vested in me, Mayor of the City of Vandalia, do hereby proclaim the week June 22nd, 2020 as Pollinators Week. First time I did that. I don't know whoever wants to take that.
Thank you. We're going to participate this year again with the Summerfest at Cedar Park. Mm-hmm. So we'll have this out for display as long as it's not raining.
All right. All right. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate all you guys do.
Thank you.
All right. Next we'll move on. We have no public hearing, and that brings us to the City Manager's report. We have some information items. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. I have several items this evening. The first one has to do with the income tax deadline. The tax deadline for federal, state, and city taxes has been extended to July 15 as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. So with that deadline approaching, Vandalia citizens are reminded that their taxes need to be filed on or before the July 15 deadline. Most people can quickly and easily file their city taxes using our online tool that's available on our website. Citizens may also receive assistance in filling out their taxes by visiting the Division of Tax Office during regular business hours. Again, this year's Star Spangled Celebration, which is typically held on July 3rd, is being postponed. Again, with the governor's COVID-19 guidelines emphasizing small group settings and social distancing, the event would need to be significantly altered if we were to hold on July 3rd. Our hope is that the restrictions will ease over the course of the summer, and we'll be able to host an end-of-summer event that will also include the live music, the food vendors, and the fireworks. So hopefully by sometime July or August, we're able to announce a date for that event. Remind everybody, city offices will be closed on Friday, July 3rd in observance of the Independence Day holiday. The rec center will be open on Saturday, July 4, from 7 a.m. to noon, being the fitness area, the track, and the gymnasium only. And just to remind everybody about City Council's summer schedule, they meet the third Monday of each month in June, July, and August. And so the next meeting of City Council will be July 20th at 7 p.m. The workshop will begin at 6 p.m.
All right. Thank you. And we have some action items. Mr. Cruzy?
What do we have here? All right, we got boards and commission appointments. So again, council has received a list of those folks requesting reappointment of current board members and commission members whose terms expire at the end of this month. And council had an opportunity to review that list at your May 18th study session and also your study session prior to this evening's meeting.
Do I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve the board and commission appointments for the terms expiring.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Pollack and a second by Councilwoman Forrest that we approve the boards and commissions terms that are expiring, those candidates. Are there any comments? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Farce?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Pollack?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have the extension of time for Foxfire. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. So the developer of Foxfire subdivision has requested a one-year extension of time until June 16th of 2021 for the construction of sidewalks on 3 undeveloped lots in the subdivision.
Have a motion?
I move that we approve the extension for the sidewalk installations in the Foxfire development.
Second.
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Ehlers and a second by Councilman Blakesley that we approve the extension of time for the Foxfire sections 6 and 7. Any comments? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Pollack?
Yes.
Councilmember Farce?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. We have no old business, and that brings us to our first resolution of the night. It is Resolution 20-R-33. Mr. McDonald, by title only.
A resolution declaring various items as surplus and authorizing disposal of such items.
Thank you, Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So department directors have compiled a list of items that staff would like council to declare surplus and grant authorization to dispose of those items. The surplus items will be placed on gov deals or otherwise disposed of by the city manager as provided by law.
Thank you. Have a motion?
I move that we approve Resolution 20-R-33 as presented.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilwoman Forrest and a second by Councilman Lewis that we approve Resolution 20-R-33. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
I'm sorry, lost my place for a second. Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Pollack?
Yes.
Councilmember Farce?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have Resolution 20-R-34. Mr. McDonald?
A resolution approving an agreement with the Teamsters Local Union number 957.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. So this resolution does authorize a 2-year collective bargaining agreement with the Teamsters. They represent full and regular part-time employees in our Public Works Department. This is our initial collective bargaining agreement between the parties. The agreement is retroactive to January 1, 2020. It provides a 2.5% cost of living increase for both 2020 and 2021. The agreement also provides an incentive for employees obtaining certain EPA certifications.
Thank you. Have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve Resolution 20-R-34 as presented.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Pollack and a second by Vice Mayor Ehlers that we approve Resolution 20-R-34 as presented. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Pollock,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have Resolution 20-R-35. Mr. McDonald?
A resolution to enter into an agreement for stop-loss coverage with Nationwide TMSRE.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. The city's health insurance broker recently received quotes from our stop-loss carriers for our July 1 renewal of our self-funded health insurance plan. Nationwide submitted the lowest quote with a decrease of 1.8%, or around $57,000 below our current carrier.
Have a motion?
Yes, I'll move to approve 20-R-33 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Woods and a second by Councilwoman Farce that we approve Resolution 20-R-35 as presented. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Pollock,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have Resolution 20-R-36. Mr. McDonald?
A resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2020 Ford F-550 two-wheel drive SD regular cab and chassis by the Public Works Department from Bo Townsend Ford in the amount of $37,799 and declaring the current 2008 Ford 350 lift truck and equipment to be replaced as surplus property.
Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. So $165,000 is budgeted for the replacement of a 2008 Ford lift truck. The funds are allocated $67,500 each to the Capital Improvement Fund and the Street Fund. The truck has 122,000 road miles with 11,480 engine hours, which equates to a total of about 379,000 miles on the engine. The state bid price for a 2020 Ford F-50 regular cab chassis is $38,565. Bo Townsend Ford submitted a quote less than the state bid price of $37,799 for the same vehicle.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move we approve Resolution 20-R-36 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Lewis, second by Vice Mayor Ehlers that we approve 20-R-36 as presented. Any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Pollock,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have Resolution 20-R-37. Mr. McDonald?
A resolution amending the not-to-exceed amount of the Crisis Intervention Training Fund.
Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. So Council previously adopted Resolution 19-R-58, establishing the Crisis Intervention Training Fund with a maximum reimbursement not to exceed $33,750. This resolution would amend the Crisis Intervention Training Fund to increase the reimbursement amount to $45,000. This amendment is based on the 2020 contract amount with the Montgomery County Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve Resolution 20-R-37.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Blakely, second by Councilman Pollock that we approve 20-R-37. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Pollock,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Moving on to ordinances, we have one ordinance in its first reading, and that is 20-16. Mr. McDonald?
An ordinance combining the Vandalia Cultural Arts Committee and Public Arts and Vandalia Committee and forming a single committee, authorizing the city manager to work with the Dayton Foundation and Vandalia Butler Foundation in order to combine the Vandalia Cultural Arts Fund and Public Arts and Vandalia Fund into a new single fund for the new combined committee.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
So council discussed this ordinance in your study session prior to this evening's meeting. I believe council determined you wanted to table this at least
Yes.
until your July meeting.
I'd like to table this ordinance till our July meeting. There's a few questions that we wanted to ask Mr. McDonald, and I'd like to involve the committee in the new name of this group.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Forrest and a second by Councilman Blakesley to table ordinance 20-16 in the first reading. Are there any other comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Pollak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. We have one ordinance in a second reading, and that's ordinance 20-09. Mr. McDonald?
An ordinance amending several subsections of section 884.03 of the City of Vandalia Tax Code to be consistent with state law.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. So this legislation is necessary to comply with House Bill 166. Council previously passed Ordinance 1930, amending the city's income tax code to comply with the provisions of House Bill 166. However, several discrepancies have been identified that require further amendments to the city's income tax code. The required changes all deal with amendments and clarifications to certain definitions.
Thank you. And since this is an ordinance in a second reading, we will open up a public hearing. So if you'd like to make a comment, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and your comment. Being none, we'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
Yes, I move we approve ordinance 20-09.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Woods and a second by Councilman Blakesley that we approve ordinance 20-09 in its second reading. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
I'm sorry, evidently I'm not really here tonight. Councilmember Blakesley.
Yes.
Councilmember Pollak.
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst.
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Councilmember Woods.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers.
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. We have several emergency ordinances, and the first one being 20-10. Are you ready, Mr. McDonald?
I hope so.
All right.
An ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of notes in the maximum principal amount of $288,000 in anticipation of the issuance of bonds, to provide monies for the retirement of the city's outstanding various purpose notes, Series 2019, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So bond anticipation notes related to the 2016 purchase of a new rescue engine are set to expire September 2nd. The principal amount due is $336,000. The 2020 budget includes $48,000 towards principal and $7,140 in interest. The remaining principal balance on these notes will be $288,000.
Thank you. And again, since this is a emergency ordinance, I'll open up a public hearing. If you have any comments, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and your comments. Being none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve ordinance 20-10 as an emergency.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Forrest and a second by Councilman Lewis that we approve ordinance 20-10 as an emergency. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Pollak.
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst.
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis.
Yes.
Councilmember Woods.
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers.
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have ordinance 20-11. Mr. McDonald.
An ordinance providing for the issuance and sales of notes in the maximum principal amount of $1,399,000 in anticipation of the issuance of bonds, to provide monies for the retirement of the city's outstanding taxable land acquisition notes, Series 2019, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So the purchase of 201 acres of land at Stone Quarry Crossings has been financed since 2006 by the issuance of bond anticipation notes that must be renewed annually. The total amount due is $1,399,000 in principal. There was no property sold in Stone Quarry Crossings in 2019 to apply towards the principal. So the remaining principal balance on the notes will be $1,399.
Good, thank you. And again, since this is an emergency ordinance, I will open up a public hearing. If you'd like to make a comment, please step to the podium, state your name and address for our record and your comments. Being none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve ordinance 20-11 as an emergency.
Second.
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Ehlers and a second by Councilwoman Farce that we approve ordinance 20-11 as emergency. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Farce?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Follett?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have emergency ordinance 20-12. Mr. McDonald.
An ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of notes in the maximum principal amount of $808,000 in anticipation of the issuance of bonds to provide monies for the retirement of the city's outstanding various purpose notes, Series 2019, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So bond anticipation notes related to the 1996 bonds that were issued for the Recreation Center, Justice Center, and municipal building projects are due to mature on September 2nd. The total amount due is $1,625,000 in principal, plus $34,531.25 in interest. The 2020 budget did appropriate $817,000 towards principal. Therefore, the remaining principal balance on the notes will be $808,000, which will be paid off next year.
Thank you. And again, since this is an emergency ordinance, I will open up a public hearing. If you'd like to make a comment, please step to the podium, state your name and address for our record, and your comments. Being none, I will close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2012 in an emergency.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Blakesley and a second by Councilwoman Farce that we approve ordinance 20-12 as an emergency. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Follett?
Yes.
Councilmember Farce?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have emergency ordinance 20-13. Mr. McDonald.
An ordinance approving the citywide 2020 pay scale and providing a cost of living allowance for certain employees and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. This ordinance would amend the 2020 pay plan to provide an additional 0.5% cost of living increase effective June 10th, 2020 for all non-union, full and permanent part-time employees within their respective pay ranges. Council previously adopted Ordinance 1926 providing a 2% cost of living increase. The amended pay plan would provide non-union employees with a cost of living increase commensurate with the public works, police, and fire unions.
Thank you. Again, since this is an emergency ordinance, I will open up a public hearing, so if you'd like to make a comment, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and your comments. Being none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve ordinance 2013 as an emergency.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Blakesley and a second by Councilman Follick that we approve ordinance 20-13 as an emergency. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Follett?
Yes.
Councilmember Farce?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have emergency ordinance 20-14. Mr. McDonald.
An ordinance approving individual assessment amounts and directing the finance director or her designee to certify the amounts to the county auditor for collection and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Cruzy.
So this ordinance assesses properties for delinquent accounts related to weed cutting.
Thank you. Since this is an emergency ordinance, I'm going to open up a public hearing. If you'd like to make a comment, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and your comment. Being none, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion? I move that we approve ordinance 20-14 as an emergency.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Farce and a second by Councilman Follick that we approve ordinance 20-14 as an emergency. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Follett?
Yes.
Councilmember Farce?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. And finally, we have our last emergency ordinance of the night. That is 20-15. Mr. McDonald.
An ordinance approving the editing and inclusion of certain ordinances as part of the various component codes of the codified ordinances, providing for the adoption and publication of new matter in the updated and revised codified ordinances, and repealing ordinances in conflict therewith, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So this ordinance approves the editing and inclusion of certain ordinances that have been passed by council since the last update of the codified ordinances. The update will codify all pertinent legislation passed by council during 2019, as well as incorporating amendments to the Ohio Revised Code.
Thank you. Since this is an emergency ordinance, I will open up a public hearing. If you'd like to make a comment, please step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and your comment. Being none, I will close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve ordinance 20-15 as an emergency.
Second.
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Ehlers and a second by Councilwoman Woods that we approve ordinance 20-15 as an emergency. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Pollak?
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have reports from boards and commissions. Council, you've got an opportunity to review the Board of Zoning Appeal minutes of April 22nd and the Board of Zoning Appeals minutes of May 27th. Are there any comments? And they stand approved. Next, we have the bill listing in the amount of $3,053,772.03 and the May purchase card detail in the amount of $9,209.16. And that brings us to council comments. Mr. McDonald.
I actually have one, and I don't know if council noticed, but last year when we did these bond anticipation notes, nobody liked the fact that it said for acquiring property, and it was about 2 paragraphs long and things like that. So staff did get with bond counsel, and we have this little short one for you all. So I just wanted to let you guys know we hear you over here at this end. So that's all.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Nothing this evening.
All right. Councilwoman Woods.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
All right. Councilman Pollak.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilwoman Forrest.
Nothing this evening, thank you, though.
Councilman Blakesley.
It's nice to be back in person. That's all I have.
Some of us were a little rusty. But, All right, next we have Councilman Lewis.
I'd like to thank Mr. McDonald for the enlightenment.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Ehlers.
Nothing, thank you.
And I have no comments tonight. I think I've said enough. At this time, we are going to go into executive session. It is recommended that council adjourn to executive session to discuss the possible purchase of real estate and to consider the employment, discipline, promotion, or compensation of a public employee, more specifically, matters relating to the performance and evaluation of the city manager. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Pollak and a second by Councilwoman Forrest. Do we go into executive session? Call the roll.
Councilmember Fairst?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Pollak?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. This meeting is adjourned.